Hey guys, Steve Vizzle here, bringing you another battle report. So I had a game lined up with a Lizardman player. This was about a week ago now, and then last minute he had to pull out. So unfortunately, I ended up playing against the Ogre player from my previous couple of battle reports. So in an attempt to change up, the output a little bit, and just so it's not so much as a regurgitation of the same game, I made a few changes, but they were changes based on the models I had with me. So still very much the same, but his arm is different, my arm is slightly different, so it's, there's some differences in there. So first of all, you can probably tell that my Doom Prince this game took the Law of Nurgle rather than Law of Death, and these are the spells he rolled up. He rolled on Miasma of Pestilence, Blades of Putrefaction, Curse of the Leper, and Plague Wind. So this is the first time I've actually used the Law of Nurgle and managed to roll Curse of the Leper. So moving on, assisted into deployment. So on my right hand side, we're Unit 5 Dogs, the Unit 4 Skull Crushers with Standard Musician, the BSB with his 2 up armor save, 3 up ward save, rolling ones, the Goblins Chariot, another 5 Hounds, the Demon Prince, that little pond thing in the top center of the picture, we played that as the wording well. And over on this side, there's another Unit 5 Dogs, 18 Nurgle Warriors with Halberds this game, so not the Zinch guys you're used to seeing. And on my very left flank is another Goblins Chariot marked Corn. The FAQs come out and the beasts indeed do not get their extra attack anymore, which I think is kind of stupid, but hey, I don't write the FAQs. And that little pillar of skulls there we used as the Sinister statue. This is a really awesome themed board that we played on today. So moving on, this is the Ogres deployment. So up in the top right of the board there, there's an Iron Blaster, a Saber Tusk on the right hand side, a unit of 6 Bulls with full command, I believe, a unit of Lead Belchers, and another Saber Tusk in the centre. His deployment was cut in half by this massive tower, which we played as the Blood Tower, which gives every unit within 6 inches hatred. But on the other side of that tower, there's a unit of 9 Iron Guts with all these characters in there. So he's got a level 4 Slaughtermaster, Bruiser BSB, and a level 2 Butcher in there. So after the game we played, when I used these ogres, he's kind of picked up that tactic there, and he's learning quite quickly. In front of them is another Saber Tusk, and another Iron Blast up way over on the left. So he's doing the thing where he's putting Saber Tusk within 6 inches of units, but I don't really have an issue to pop them off and cause panic checks, so it's not really an issue. So we move on. The Ogre player won the turn to go first, so you can see here he's pushed the Saber Tusk right up as far as it can go. The Iron Guts have moved up behind it, and the Iron Blaster has swung left to get some shots at some stuff. Moving on, over back onto this side, so again, both Saber Tusk are pushed forward to get in the way of basically my stuff. The Lead Belch has moved up onto that hill. We played the side of the hill that's on his side of the table is just an open hill, and the side of the hill the closest to me was impassable. So they move up onto the hill just to get a bit of sight advantage, and the bulls behind there to move around to funnel through that little gap between the hill and the Blood Tower and get themselves hatred. And in shooting, so the Lead Belchers go ahead and shoot at the Nurgle Warriors here and kill a guy. And then the Iron Blaster goes ahead and pops a cannonball through the dogs and just clips one guy from the Nurgle block and kills one Nurgle guy. And over on the other side, the other Iron Blaster, way over on the left side by the Iron Guts, misfires and rolls 2, so he loses his cannon, which I was very appreciative of. And that was it for the Ogre turn 1. So moving on to Warriors of Chaos turn 1. So the Sinister statue does nothing. I think it tries to wound my Goblins, but it doesn't do anything. And then the Goblins Chariot promptly fails its Frenzy test and has to charge the Saber Tusk, so I clip it at a really obnoxious angle like this. And the dogs just move up to block those Iron Guts in later turns. In the centre here, so I've just pushed the 2 units of dogs forward to double flee the Ogre Bull should they choose to charge. The Nurgle guys with Halberds move up behind them. Goblins Chariot, you can see on the right, they push it up as well. And so over on this side, the Demon Prince actually declared a charge onto the Saber Tusk that was in the centre. The Saber Tusk fled through the Blood Tower and ran away. And then the Demon Prince tried to redirect into his Lead Belchers and had a failed charge. So he's not really moved anywhere, which is probably kind of a mistake. I should have just flew him up really. As you see there, the Goblins Chariot's moved up, BSB's moved up. just so he's on that impassable side of the hill, so no one can really charge him. But he's getting his, big 12-inch bubble at full, full use of it there. And over on the right hand side there, you can see the dogs have gone ahead and declared a charge onto the Saber-tusk, and the Skullcrusher moved up behind and took a wound, whereas he treated the rocks as like a squeeze slope, and then took one wound for danger terrain. So you can see here, yeah, that's the picture of the dogs that took the charge on the Saber-tusk. The Saber-tusk are pretty tough not to crack, but I'm thinking I've got a charge, and if I can maybe sneak a wound on it, and he'll probably do, mathematically a wound back, I'll win combat by 1. He's on leadership 4. I should break him, run him down, and then clear up this, this side of the board for the Skullcrusher to move through past the wording well. So moving on to the Warriors Curse magic phase, I go ahead and I cast Curse of the Leper onto the Goldbeast Chariot because I know I'm going to kill that Saber-tusk and overrun into the Iron Guts. So the Goldbeast Chariot's toughness 9, which is just ridiculous. And I'll make a note now that I actually forget to use the Lore Attribute when we're doing Prince all game, so whatever. And also in the magic phase, I managed to throw a Plague Wind through the Lead Belchers and through the Bulls and put 1 wound onto a Lead Belcher. I really don't like Plague Wind as a spell. And over on this side of the table, you can see here that I did manage to pull wound onto the Saber-tusk, but he killed 2 of my dogs, slightly above average, and we tied combat. So now I'm just bottlenecking up here, which is unfortunate. And predictably over on this side, so the Goldbeast Chariot obliterates the Saber-tusk and overruns into the Iron Guts. So into Ogre's turn 2, he goes ahead and declares a charge into 1 unit of dogs. I flee, and then he fails his redirect test, so he has a failed charge. Everyone passes their panic test. And moving on, you can see here the Iron Blaster's moved around. He can't fire, but he's prepping up himself next turn for a flank charge into the Goldbeast Chariot, because it is still a decent chariot even without the cannon, which is ridiculous. And over on this side, the cannon just moves around to get a shot off at the Skullcrushers. So this is a picture here, the close-up of the Slaughtermaster. I think I just took it because he went and he tried to cast Wisdom's Wild Form, and I think he failed to cast and ended his own magic phase, which was awesome. And then on the side, so the Iron Blaster goes ahead and puts a cannonball through the Skullcrushers and kills one. And in combat, the Saber-tusk beats the dogs in combat, pursues them, and runs smack bang into the Skullcrushers. The dogs get away. And in this combat here, so this was absolutely ridiculous. So the Goldbeast goes in and does a ton of damage. I think I'd do like 9 wounds or something between impact hits and the attacks from the beast and the guys on top. I do like 9 wounds. Because I'm toughness 9, the Iron Guts only managed to do a single wound back to me. So he's testing on a 9 with a reroll, and he blows it twice. This is the same thing happened when we played in the reverse game in the last battle report, where I blew an 8 with a reroll. He goes in and blows a 9 with a reroll. The Goldbeast Chariot runs down the Iron Gut unit and all the characters, and that was pretty much game right there. So I said, no, don't be silly, put him back on the table, let's keep playing, because that's his entire army. It's like 1,000 points in that unit, and there's no way a Goldbeast Chariot's going to run it down. So I just put him back on the table, we'll carry on playing, which my opponent appreciated. And so moving into Warriors of Chaos turn 2, I go ahead and I take the charge of the Goldbeast Chariot through the little gap, and then close the door into the bulls like so. The dogs there rally, which I appreciated. And the dogs over on this side of the table rally, which I also appreciated. It's not often I make leadership 5, but there you go. And on this side, so I go ahead and I just start throwing the dogs into an obnoxious angle, and I believe this round the Sinister Statue doesn't do anything. And in the centre here, so the dogs have pushed up there just to block off anyone, just to flee from those lead belts if they try and charge. Just generally making a nuisance of itself, and you see the Demon Prince flown up to aid in magic and get some charges later on. Moving on. So I'm really sure what this picture's here for. I think this is the magic phase. I went ahead and tried to cast Curse of the Leper onto the Gobi's Chariot again, and my opponent dispel scrolled it. And this is what this picture is. And so into combat, so the Gobi's Chariot actually does pretty much nothing. It looks like I just kill a single bull. Yeah, so I was expecting a little more from the Gobies there, but hey, can't always be destructive. Over on this side, so looks like I will go ahead and do another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds. I can't have 7 wounds, I only have 9 attacks. So I've done probably 5 wounds, something like that. A decent amount of wounds. And I took another wound back, and I think I stick around in combat. So going into Ogre Kingdom's turn 3, the Iron Blaster here does indeed take the charge into the flank of the Gobi's Chariot. And the Sabertusk way back here, we actually forgot about rallies, which is silly. My dogs are rallying, the Sabertusk are rallying, making some ridiculously low leadership, but the Iron Guts failing now in the reroll, but there you go. And over here, so the Lead Belchers move around, budge up further up the hill. I think make sure everyone's in their front arc as well, which is smart. And then you're just going to shoot at the warriors again. So in the magic phase, the Ogre Kingdom's Blade goes ahead and gets up with his wild form, which is probably going to mean the Gobi's Chariot's going to die. And he goes ahead and puts the Curse of Honor here onto the Gobi's Chariot in the centre that's fighting his bulls. So in shooting phase, the Lead Belchers looks like they pick off 4 or 5 noble warriors. I can live with that. And over on this side, predictably, the so in the previous turn, the Skull Crushers beat up the Sabertusk and overran, and then in this turn, the Iron Blaster goes in and puts another cannonball through the Skull Crushers and kills one of them. But I'm right near the wording well, so hopefully I'll be able to roll well and get some models back. But I think in my next turn I roll a 1, and so I can't do any voluntary actions, which is stupid. But there you go. And so into the end of the combat phase. So despite Curse of Honor here being up, this time I do indeed beat and run down the bulls in the centre there, which is now in my turn set me up for a nice flank charge into the Iron Blaster, which is appreciated. Again, quite unlucky with leadership. He was just, steadfast on a 7. That's kind of a 50-50 roll, but there you go. And predictably, over on this side, the Iron Guts, now strength 7, toughness 5, in conjunction with the Iron Blaster, wipe out the Gobi's Chariot. Looks like I do another couple of wounds, despite Wiston's wild form being up, which is appreciated. Sorry for the blurry photo. So this is Warriors of Chaos turn 3. The Demon Prince goes ahead and charges the Lead Belchers, so he's going to mop those up. And up here in the top of the picture, the Gobi's Chariot does indeed take that charge into the Iron Blaster. I think it was a fairly long charge. I think I needed like a 9 or a 10. I can't really remember, but he makes it. And so remaining moves just look kind of like this. So this is the turn where the Skull Crushers just bump up sort of 4 or 5 inches just to stay within range of the wording well, and then they roll a 1. The dogs move around just to preserve their points, so even though it doesn't really matter, getting in the wording well. BSB stays put. That little dice next to him doesn't really mean anything. That's just a stray dice. He's not taking any wounds. And in the centre here, the Noble Warriors are reformed to fight the incoming Iron Blaster and Iron Guts, and the dogs do their obnoxious baiting, where they're going to force the Iron Blaster to overrun past my Noble block, which is good for me. And the dogs on the far side are just preventing the Iron Guts from swinging around properly this turn. And into the magic phase, so I go ahead and I throw off Miasma of Pestilence onto the Noble guys, so any of the units that get in here are going to be hitting on 6s. And I go ahead and get Curse of the Leper off on the Iron Blaster and drop its toughness by 3, so it's now toughness 3, or toughness 4, either way, it drops its toughness fairly low. And predictably, with that drop of toughness, I kill it. I think just on impact hits is enough to kill it, and then the Gobi's Chariot overruns that way. And the Demon Prince goes in. I think he kills. I think he hits and wounds with all his attacks, kills 2 lead belchers, and then runs down the last 2 because he's no longer steadfast, and runs them down. So in Ogre Kingdoms turn 4, the Iron Guts go ahead and charge the dogs just to get the charge, kill them, and get the overrun. And the Iron Blaster does indeed charge the dogs out just because of the piece of terrain. He wouldn't stay upright, so the corner that's touching the dogs is where he's in contact, and then he's closed the door that way. But just we couldn't do it because of the scenery. So he goes ahead in the magic phase and throws Wiston's Wild Form onto the Iron Guts again. Not that he really needs it. He's going to wipe out those dogs either way. And after the combat phase, it looks like this. So he's killed the dogs out on the left-hand side, and he doesn't look like he overrun very far. He killed the dogs in the centre of the Iron Blaster, and he fell an inch short to contact my Noble Warriors. So I obviously must have lined it up poorly, and he could indeed make the overrun or something. I don't know. But he fell short by an inch. So now the majority of my units in his flank, and I'm going to get a nice flank charge with those Noble Warriors. Which is what happens. So Warriors Curse turn 4, the Noble Warriors go into the flank, the Demon Prince and the BSB turn around. So basically everything that they can is just enveloping into the Iron Guts now. So over on the right hand side here, so the Gobi's Chariot has just swung back round. The Skull Crushers again have swung around. The Wording Wells, they've done nothing all game. This table's fun to play on, but with all this immovable, impassable terrain, it really makes it awkward for fairly big units like Skull Crushers. So they've done nothing all game, but they're going to sit within 3 inches of that Wording Well, hopefully get some models back. Which they do. So at the end of the movement phase, I go ahead and I roll like a 3, activate the Wording Well, and then I roll a 10 and get 10 wounds back. So Skull Crushers go back up to full strength. And at the end of the magic phase, looks like I've gone ahead and I've got Mesmer of Pestilence off again. And I've managed to get Curse of the Leper off again. I think in this turn my opponent went to Dispel and failed, so lost his +4 bonus, and then it allowed me to get my second spell through. And I dropped his toughness by 3, indicated by that red die. And I've got Miser of Pestilence, obviously his management weapon skill, so he's going to hit me on 6s. And he's toughness 3, so I should rip him apart. And that's what does happen. So I go ahead and I beat the Iron Blaster. I didn't even run it down. It just dies to wounds. And then I go ahead and reform just out of line of sight of the Iron Guts. And so this is just a shot at the end of the game. So convincing win for Warriors of Chaos. This table's awesome. This is the Skull Pass table. It's a Warhammer World. We decided to play on this for a change, but it really did make the game very easy logistic wise, because we've both got some fairly big units to push around. But hey, that's the powers of playing on a fun board. This game should have been overturned too when the Gobi's Chariot ran down his Iron Guts, but I didn't want that to happen, so we played on. Ended up winning by about 1,000 points. Because even though I killed most of his army, the amount of points in that Iron Gut unit is ridiculous. The Iron Guts themselves are a unit of 9 Iron Guts, so that's like 400 points. Then there's the 3 characters in there. The Slaughtermaster's like 400 points. The Bruiser and the Butcher are pretty much 200 each. So you're looking at like 11 or 1,200 points in that one unit. But I managed to get everything else, so I'm up by about 800, minus the Gobi's Chariot. So I don't know, 600 point victory to Warriors of Chaos. I didn't really work it out, because at this point we were still kind of flabbergasted by the fact that the Iron Guts again failed a strong leadership role and blew it with a reroll. But that's what happens sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed the report, guys. Again, I'm sorry for regurgitating the same matchup of Ogres versus Warriors of Chaos. It was supposed to be Lizard Men, but I hope you enjoy the content, and remember, if you like my battle reports and you want to see more, then Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and put some comments in if you noticed any mistakes or anything you'd like to see in the future. Anything either of us should have done differently to win the game, etc., etc. You know, the comment boxes, guys. So thanks for watching, and more battle reports to come. Thank you.